What do you mean you stopped for cigarettes? I told you to make a beeline for the woods. What am I supposed to do now that you got a helicopter above you? What do you want me to come out there and take my rocket launcher? There's nothing I can do for you, Gino. You screwed up. I told you to make a beeline for the woods and get rid of those bodies ASAP. Hey, Gino, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm on a call. I can't do nothing for you. Sorry. You're on your own, buddy. It's really hard to find good help, suffice it to say. I have a lot of part-time jobs, and I'm trying to run all these different things, but I can't do everything myself. I can't clone myself and direct my multiple selves. I have to deal with people. And dealing with people is the most difficult thing we have to do here. Obviously, with regards to salvation, this is all about relationships, communication, and how we deal with one another. Because what is the general context? What's the big context for this thing? Well, we have us people, right? And we can choose what to listen to. And there's, at the most basic level, there's light and darkness. And we can choose to listen to light or we can choose to listen to darkness. Now, darkness is very sneaky and darkness masquerades as light. So a lot of the time what we perceive to be light is actually darkness communicating with us. And so it's a very, very distorted, convoluted, monkey-ass kind of thing that we have to deal with here. And our job is to focus on the light, to be channels for the light. Speaking of light, what a beautiful day we have today. Plenty of light coming in right now. We had some very, very murky, rainy days, and it got to be a little bit too much. I went to the store yesterday, and my God, you look at these people. What a bunch of fucking sorry asses we are. To think that people spend a lot of time, in their mirrors, putting on makeup, doing their hair and all this stuff. They look as bad as they do. Wow. The wiring people have to look at yourself, your own damn meat suit in the mirror and be like, wow, what the hell am I doing in this thing? Normal, natural, I just don't get it. I don't get this normal kind of shit brain. And these shit brains are so pissed off. You try to lift them up a little bit here and there. What are you fucking pissed off for? You don't get this. You don't understand this. You don't have a right to be pissed off. You're part of the problem. You're a cog in the machine. You don't have a right to be pissed off. I heard it said a while back, someone astutely said, you only have the right to bitch if you're doing something about the thing you're bitching about. If you're not doing something about the thing you're bitching about, you have no right to bitch whatsoever. But still, with regards to bitching, I don't bitch a whole lot. I bitch a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I yell, I break shit, I throw the cat across the living room. Okay, I don't do that. I don't hurt people. I don't make other people the victims of my anger, nor should you. But for the most part, that's what needs to happen. When you're pissed off, you fucking let it out. You get, shit, son of a bitch, I'm gonna smash this fucking guitar. No, definitely don't want to do that. This guitar has been with me for quite a few years. It has quite a few marks on it, if you look closely. I have other guitars which I've been more careful about not getting dents and marks on, but this one has had its share. At one time, this guitar sounded literally like the best guitar in the entire world. It was just amazing. It's a Tacoma Chief, and I kept it in my car during some very cold months during the winter, and I think that changed the wood, so it doesn't sound quite as good as it once did. But we have a lot to look forward to in terms of music in heavenly reality. I wrote a very extensive post the other day about music and how music is a microcosm. It's a holographic kind of image or representation of reality as a whole. Take a breath. Slow down. Take it easy. Okay. I got it. Thank you. Music is a holographic representation of the whole. And basically what we've done now is we've pretty much exhausted music. And we've exhausted just about everything. I mean, sometimes I'm going to look in the refrigerator, I'm looking up in the cabinets, and there's nothing there. It's like all of those snack foods that, once kept out of the house because I'd eat too much of it, if it was there, I have those in the house now, and I don't even want to eat them. All of like those really goodies, like, nothing. I went to the Indian buffet the other day. That didn't quite hit the spot either. It's like there's something we want to taste or something we want to experience. It's just not here in this reality. But music, as much as a creative flow as I've been having with regards to coming up with new things, there's been a feeling of frustration with regards to it, that you come up with something that's like, no, it sounds too much like what's come before. It's like, you come up, you can just play around. You can play around, come up with shit, but what's the likelihood that it's going to be really that different? I mean, you can come up with a chord progression, a very common one is the 1 to the minor 6. Come up with stuff like that. You can jam, it's fun, but after a while it just starts to sound like everything else out there. And coming up with something new, something truly new and original, is getting more and more difficult to do, because we basically exhausted what you can do in this reality. The combinations, the permutations are up. Everything's over. You can think of like travel even. You want to go somewhere, experience something new. It's like, well, you can experience something new, but then you have to look at the cost of going there. You have to examine the cost of like all of the people who are necessary for you to travel from here to wherever you're going to. Obviously, even if you're just traveling on roads, the road system, the cars, the fuel, all that kind of stuff, enormous amount of maintenance goes into all that. And if you want to travel somewhere on a plane, obviously, and hotels and all the stuff that has to be there to support you in doing that, is it worth it? Good thing to talk about real quick, this whole idea of worth it. I've talked about this before, but in heaven there's no trading pleasure for pain. None whatsoever. So this idea that, you work 8 hours on a construction job and you rush home as fast as possible, you weave through traffic because you're going home to get laid, and it's like, well, it's really good because I worked so hard at my construction job. That's shit-brain thinking. That's moronic programmed thinking that you have to trade pleasure for pain, that things are worth it because you suffered some kind of pain, and the pain, working real hard, made your lunch taste good. Well, there's all kinds of little qualifications and all right. Why the bling, you're asking, probably. You should be asking. And the answer is that there's a part of me that's just dying to go down to the gun store. It's not too far. It's like a 15-minute walk, 20-minute walk. I'm very accurate with these things. I'm going to say 22-minute walk. A few-minute drive where I could go purchase a gun and I could end my life very easily. You got to love the modern age for how easy suicide is. I mean, really nice, the fact that you can go get a gun and you can kill yourself really easily if you wanted to. I mean, think about how brave people had to be a number of years ago. Like, they had to jump off a cliff or, hanging yourself. That seems pretty tough, too. And, like, poison, I mean, is the poison really going to work? You got to talk to people, say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And, say well, you can use this kind of stuff. And it's like, well, do I really trust this guy? Is this going to leave me, like, mentally trapped in my body? I'm not going to be able to talk anymore. And I'm just going to be a vegetable. But now it's, like, really easy if you want to do that. So, anyhow, I have this, I keep thinking, well, that gun shop's over there. I could go kill myself very easily here. And I don't want to do that, of course, but, it's just so tempting, get the fuck out of this place, right? But part of what prevents me from going down there is I have all this stuff, and I haven't used it up. I haven't used all my stuff up. I've got this bracelet, so now that I've worn this bracelet, and this bracelet's getting its due attention, I don't have to look at this bracelet and be like, well, I haven't worn that bracelet yet. I made that one video. Mental note, you made this video with this bracelet in it. So don't let that bracelet be a reason to keep your sorry ass alive. But you look in the closet, you have all these clothes, and you realize that you've hardly gotten any use out of all these clothes. And it's like, well, I can't kill myself now. That one shirt right there, I'm going to have to lose 20 pounds to even fit in the stupid thing. It's like, well, now it becomes, is losing weight a good thing or a bad thing? I fit in that shirt, I can wear that shirt, now I can kill myself. Stay fat and you can't wear that shirt and you can't kill yourself. What a difficult situation we're in. You know, it's like the carpet's too big for the room. You push it down one place, it goes up in another place. Anyhow, that's why I'm wearing the bling, so I can't use this as an excuse to stay alive anymore. But really, this reality as a whole has been completely used up. And there's the fact that we're in 2017 now, the fact that you can live vicariously through the experiences of others via the TV, the television. They can travel to some exotic location. You don't have to go there yourself. You just watch them do it, and then you're perfectly fine. It's not like it's going to do their sorry asses any good to go to these exotic locations. I mean, you look at all these dumb shits, these college kids that go to Europe, travel all around Europe. They don't come back any better than they were in the first place. Oh, like this is such a liberal bullshit kind of idea. Oh, traveling opens your mind. Hey, shut up. You don't need to travel very much. You go to Omaha, Nebraska. You go to across the border to Mexico, and you go maybe to London, and you go to Africa, and that's enough. That's all the traveling you need. You don't need much more than that. If you're smart, you learn from a few things, from simple things. You don't need to do things until you're half dead, until your body is completely exhausted and you got worms like coming out of your mouth, to know that it's not that good for you. You know, so a lot of modalities I put down after a little while because it was like, no, it's not working. Not for me here. But back to what I was saying earlier, the cost of you entertaining yourself in this shithole is very expensive to others. Expensive not in terms of money, but expensive in terms of their energy. And what they have to do in order to make these experiences possible for you is not worth it. It's not worth it to you. One of the key questions that panel is going to ask you when you exit your body is, did you realize the cost? Did you realize the cost? Well, you bought that diamond ring right there. Did you realize where that diamond came from? Did you realize that there were some Africans that were getting beaten and they were working like 16-hour days in horrid conditions. They were miserable the entire time, and they're basically slaves. They couldn't escape to get you that fucking diamond that you bought at Zales, or he went to Jared. Fuck you, Jared. Fuck you, Zales. Fuck all you and your fucking diamonds. This stuff right here, how much would this have been worth several hundred years ago? I mean, possibly 1,000, whatever they had back then, pounds. I mean, this right here, it's little fishes and little dice, and it looks like gold from a couple feet away, and this looks like real, stones. Well, they didn't have plastic back then, but it's much lighter weight. It didn't weigh your neck down like that other stuff did. This stuff would have been priceless back then. So what about cubit, zirconia, and stuff like that? I'm not denying the power of precious gems, but I'm talking about the cost right now. Do you realize the cost? Do you realize the cost of what you're doing? Are you looking at your own life, and are you examining the things you're doing, and are you asking whether or not they're worth it to you? Are they really worth it to you? Is it really worth it to have that based on the cost for someone else to produce it? And the answer to almost all of this is God fucking no. It's not worth it. From the soul's point of view, from heaven's point of view, nothing is worth it. No pain, no pleasure is worth any amount of pain. No pleasure is worth any bullshit whatsoever. Heaven just says to us, why don't you just get up and go? The door's wide open. And I'm going to be making a video, hopefully by the end of the year, which is going to be pretty comprehensive, which will put all of the most essential salvation, ascension, transformation of the world / getting the fuck out of here ideas into one comprehensive video, so nobody has an excuse not to understand what I'm talking about. Of course, I'll continue to make more resources, I'll continue to make more music, I'll continue to do what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to package it in such a way that just about everybody can understand. Right now we're spinning our wheels here. Nobody's got a fucking clue. We've got to get a new cast of characters coming in. This will be one of the things I talk about. New cast of characters that are basically in their bunkers right now. They're not in the limelight. They're going to have to come out and they're going to have to make their presence known, come together, create the authentic unification bonds we need. Gotta go.